Afternoon to everyone here. We forgot
Good
to introduce
afternoon to
ourselves.
everyone here. We are the team Geeky Nerds. Our team consists of me, Babatari, and Alagan. So the problem which was given to us is making farming a commercial activity. It also involves bringing more people into farming.
Yeah. And so what we understood from this was that the main problems we faced while bringing up this achievement was lack of education with the farmer and need for the middleman with such low vegetable prices and quite unplanned farming and lack of general information among the farmers.
So the solution we have come up with is an application. We have come up with this to eliminate lack of education, eliminate middlemen, unplanned farming, and lack of information. So this graph shows the market price of the products and the amount of money received by the farmers. This is also followed in foreign countries, but whereas in India, since the price of goods are low, the amount received by farmers are very low.
Okay. So we made a couple of prototypes, the L1 and L2. And coming on to L2, we'll just move to our prototype itself directly. So what we created was an app, and this is a basic interface for the app. So you could see that we have given multiple features like option to choose a language. So yeah, that's a language page where you can choose your languages. And the second one, the education, which is kind of important. So here, the farmer can learn how to farm. Basically, we often find that they just lack knowledge on how to farm. They use over fertilization, which leads to chemical residue, etc., etc., which leads to a lot of health problems, and that obviously should be eradicated. And one of our main aims was that. And the second one, the market. So this is more like an Amazon, let's just say, the e-commerce site which we would like to build to create a market so that the farmers can sell their goods directly. So we are basically eliminating the middleman. And in the graph you saw before, you could have noticed the market prices are going linearly high, but the farmers don't get that linear high prices. So in order to stop that, we create our own market, an online market where people can buy from us directly. And back to the main page, the livestock section, which I'm not going to get deep into, but that is where we tell how to maintain livestock, etc., etc. And a news section which tells us the news basically, what all is new in farming, what sort of crops have been introduced, etc. And the labs. This is something we thought of on our own. So often we notice corporates labeling, I mean, branding their products, the fruits or vegetables, and certifying them chemical free or organic. And with our labs, we'll be able to do that, tagging the farmer higher cost of selling, which obviously means higher profit, which is a good thing. And the ROI, the main thing, all. So here we have given a basic chart, but in a proper app, it will be an algorithm where the farmer would enter the market price, the crop he's giving and all, and will give a cost breakup and how much profit he or she would make in farming. And this we believe would eradicate losses incurred by the farmers due to unplanned farming. And coming back to the main menu, we have this is a 40 days since plantation, you can see, right? That is where the farmer will be able to know how many days it has been since they planted and how much time do they have left to harvest. So this is the basic gist, and I'm not going to go deep into it because it will take too much time, as we have included many features and the prototypes have already been shared in mail, which you can visit. And we are quitting the app. So farm guy, thank you for using me. And then moving on back to our presentation. Yeah. So that is what we have basically given a list in our pitch presentation too. So this is the basic, and the bottom schematic you can see is what we are trying to eradicate, which is a big cause for all the problems that the farmer faces. Next one from
Next is
Bhavata.
the SWOT analysis. It's the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. The strength is that India is the second largest, highest producer of producing nation of food. So it has a surplus of food, so that it can be exported to other products. We are in a country which still hasn't there hasn't seen corporatization of it. We focus on data analysis, and we have taken a corporate approach. And the opportunities is that food exports due to surplus availability. The opportunity we have going to focus on is making India a largest food producer in the world. Now we focus on the weakness. Weakness is that it is because only, it is basically an app. We don't have personal touch with the farmers. There's a lack of personal touch, and since it's focused on agriculture products, which are food products, they are volatile. And now we go on to the threats. That the main threat is middlemen. The there's the whole team of middlemen which will be who will be affected, and they are not conservative, so it will be difficult for us to introduce this with them.
And the cost analysis. Before we move into that, I would like to propose our business model, which I'm introducing just now. So let's take Google for example. What's the main business? Making a good search engine. But how do they make money out of it? They sell advertisements. Likewise, what our main business is creating an app that would help a farmer. But but how we get revenue from it? The e-commerce website, uh, and you could have noticed in a prototype there are a lot of blank spaces which could easily be sold for advertising, and so that we think would give us a good revenue as such. So the tentative cost analysis. Initial investment we predict around a lakh to $5 lakh, which is quite high, but in corporate money it's just a new Mercedes cost. And the running cost of an app is also quite high. The servers have to be maintained, the electricity bill, etc., etc. So that would be around 20 to 40,000 US dollars, which translates to a maximum of 29 to 30 lakh rupees. And of course, the office and labor cost, which we predict is around $35,000. Again, everything is averaged out, so real real world values might vary. So, and the office labor cost is 25 lakhs too. So these are quite high numbers. Honestly, give these numbers to a middle class person, he'll say it is quite high. So this is how we propose a viable running. So e-commerce alone we have focused without even considering advertisement. So this is our analysis for basic viable running. Minimum just to break even, we have to do this. Our minimum running cost is around $4,071, which is around 2,97,000 for every month. And an average Indian spends around 273 rupees on his or her vegetable bill every month. So let's say we take a commission of just 6.5% from every 273 rupee package we ship. And the number of packages we have to ship is just 4,000. Yeah, just 4,000. A small city like Coimbatore has a population of 16 lakhs. And in that, shipping a 4,000 packet, that to a commodity that will be consumed again and again every month, it's going to be very, very easy. So with 18,000 packs, we'll just be breaking even quite easily. And again, less number of packs. If we double it, we get to 3 lakh in profit, and that is without advertising. So we think it is a very good business model to be implemented but in India. In other countries, the numbers will be even better due to the higher vegetable cost. And our efforts to influence the panel, which we have dedicated a particular slide to it. I don't think I should have to read it out loud. You guys can read it. But we also thought we could bribe you, but that is entirely an option. Anyway, this is what we must say, and thank you. Signing off.
Can you go to the last but two slide where you had shown the calculation? Just want to understand it a bit.
This one, sir.
The previous one, yeah, be here. Okay, can you walk through us through the slide a little slowly so that we'll follow your thought process?
Yes, sir, sure, sir.
Ah,
So basically, a company will require an initial investment where we have to research and develop a product, and after that we'll have our usual running costs. So here we have proposed a initial investment of $5 lakh, which equates to around 3.6 crore rupees. In corporate money, it's just the price of a new Mercedes. That's all we're trying to say. And the running cost, we move on to the app running cost, like maintaining the server cost, etc., etc. it would cost around $40,000 annually max. So again, that's just 29 lakhs, which is quite less for an app. And then the office rental, the labor, I mean the salaries we pay, the coffees that everyone drink, it costs around $35,000 annually. So that's just what this breakdown is about.
Okay. Then the other chart where you had this 4,000 and odd number where you were dividing by 0.22. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one where I wanted to understand what exactly you are doing here.
Okay, so what we have projected here is our minimum running cost per month. So that's around 3 lakh rupees, two lakh
Hmm,
97,500,
hmm, hmm,
and an average Indian's expense on veggies per month
hmm,
is just 273 rupees.
hmm.
So
Okay.
let's just say we take a commission of 6.5%.
Hmm,
So we are basically buying it directly from the farmer and only taking a 6.5% commission in it,
hmm.
which is around 16.3 rupees.
Okay.
And the number of packs
And
we
what is this? You are dividing 4,000 by 0.22. What exactly is that?
okay. The 0.22 is equal to 16.3 rupees in dollars.
Okay.
So 4,071 is an amount that we need for uh, monthly the running expense.
Correct.
So that divided by the number of packs and
Uh,
the amount of commission we get per pack,
Yeah.
we'll get the
Yeah.
number of packs. We'll get the number of
That's the
packs we have.
number of packs that you have to handle to break
Yeah,
even.
yeah, 18,252.
Okay. And how realistic is that number?
It's quite realistic because,
Hmm,
again, as I said, I'm from the city of Coimbatore, which is not such a big city,
hmm.
and it has a population of 16 lakhs. And shipping, I mean, the number we gave is not even 10% of Coimbatore, let alone a metro city.
So in this case, who is your customer? To whom are you going to sell this product of yours?
It's a very simple answer. So
Huh.
basically, the health conscious people will buy our product, and the health conscious people are more like the software people, the IT graduates, the professors at the college. The most middle class families are health conscious nowadays, and they'll buy our product.
So what is it you are going to sell?
The vegetables that we buy from the farmers directly.
Okay. So that pack you are going to sell to health conscious people.
Yeah.
So if you are selling 18,000 odd packs itself, you will break even. Anything you sell more than that is your profit margin.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
So, other than Bagani, I had one question. So, good presentation because today we are talking about digital literacy, right? So, even people who may be
So your,
illiterate.
so your voice is not clear.
Can't hear you so clearly, Ram. Bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
good presentation. And today we are talking about digital literacy, right? Where even illiterates are comfortable in using mobile phone apps, smartphones. So, good presentation. One
Yes,
question
sir.
I had, you are talking about suggesting what crops to plant on for the farmers.
Yes, sir.
So you also spoke about a lab in your app. So my
Sorry, sir.
question, you spoke about a lab, right, in your mobile app. There is a laboratory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So my question is, how do you measure the quality of soil? You say you are geeky nerds, right? So are you going to suggest some IoT type of solution to
Sorry, sir.
remotely
The
measure
quality of.
the quality of soil, or should some soil sample be shipped to a laboratory? How do you make it a closed loop so that you constantly monitor the soil quality? Because you cannot give the same suggestion for everybody just based on weather and other parameters, right? The soil quality plays an important role. How are you
Yes.
planning to manage that?
Uh, they can send their soil samples to our lab where we can analyze it and tell them what parameters are imbalanced, and they can correct it with artificial fertilizers in the right amount. So it will be good.
Okay, so I hope your model takes care of that because there'll be cost involved. You may need a supply chain for sending the soil to the lab at what frequency, sending back the results. So your
Again, sir,
model,
they can. Yes, sir. They can come to us, or they have the actually government of India has developed quite a large laboratory network all over India. So they can come to us, they can go there, whichever is possible. And if they just give us the report too, we can analyze what is imbalanced and correct it.
Okay, if you've thought of it, then it's good because if it is from some other lab, then you need interoperability. Can you read the data? All those things. If you have
Sorry?
thought of it, then it's a complete solution. So, good presentation.
Yes, sir.
Uh, hey, so Azgan and Bhautrani, right? Am I pronouncing that correct?
No, but it's okay.
Okay, pardon.
No
Well,
worries.
so I definitely like the depth of research and the detailing that you guys have put into your presentation. It's
Thank you.
almost like your product is ready to be pitched to a venture capitalist and get funds and get it rolling.
Yeah, we
Uh,
imagine you as the venture capitalist. So
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a fantastic work done on that front. What
yes,
I want to understand from you is your thought process on how will this solution make
sir.
farming aspirational and
Mm.
for whom?
Okay. So nowadays we are uh, my dad owns an agricultural company, so I have a first-hand experience in this. So what we noticed was that a lot of software engineers want to get into farming, but they don't. So we started digging there, and we were fascinated to learn that why the reason they don't get into farming is because they don't know how to farm, and obviously schools don't teach us how to farm. And so first, we give an education. So anyone who wants to learn to farm can just get log into our app and learn to farm. And again, we just give complete guidance. And beyond that, if someone wants, someone wants more guidance, they can contact us. So this way, we think it will be more easier for software people in white collar jobs to access farming, and that should make it more aspirational.
Okay, so your target audience is urban, right?
Your audio broke up. Could you repeat again, please?
Your target audience, according to your explanation, is urban dwellers, is what you're looking at. People who
Uh,
live in cities or have white collar jobs, you want them to participate in the farming industry. Is that correct?
not No, not exactly. So,
Okay.
first thing is we like to eradicate the illiteracy in farmers, and to make it more aspirational, we make it friendly for the white collar job people too. So it's everyone, not them in particular.
Okay. So are you targeting your product still in the villages?
Yes, as an education product, we do target it in the villages. As a commercial e-commerce site, we don't target it in the villages.
And you expect this product to make farming aspirational in villages?
Yeah, we do hope so because again, we are eliminating the middleman, which would give them quite a good profit for every farmer. Again, I'll just show you the chart now. This one. You can see, right, the green line highlights the market mandi price, which is on a linear high, but what the farmer gets is quite low. And so if we eliminate the middleman, we can give the green line to the farmer.
Yeah, I think in terms of the quantitative aspects, all your aspects you have covered it very well. What I do feel at my end is aspiration is also a very emotional challenge. It's more of a cultural and emotional challenge to.
Actually, there was a future plan of aspirational uh, to make farming aspirational, but as a beginning application, it would require very huge investment, and we didn't want to pitch it.
Sorry, I didn't get your last part.
Okay. So to make farming more aspirational, we had an idea, but as an application with already a 3 crore investment, we couldn't go with a higher investment to make to what we planned.
Okay, fair enough. In terms of business model, it's fantastic. I do feel there's a lot of work that will be required to make it solve the problem that's actually there is making farming as aspirational in villages especially.
Again, sir, as far as we know, farming is quite aspirational in foreign countries because the prices are high, but here it's quite low for the consumer itself. And the middleman taking the chunk, not so good. So that's what we are trying to eradicate. And this should give farmers higher profits, which we hope will make it aspirational. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other jury comments?
Okay, I can go next.
Yeah.
Hey, Radhe, don't kick yourself half. Most of the people in Tamil Nadu can't get the part of it right, so don't kick yourself. It's okay.
Sorry, sir. Come again.
uh, uh, Sorry.
Could you come again? The middle was a bit.
No, I was saying that the previous jury member didn't get the raw part of your name right. So I said, don't kick yourself because many people in Tamil
Yeah,
Nadu
true.
themselves can't get it right.
Again, Tamil is dying in Tamil Nadu. What can we do?
No, that's fine. It's a beautiful name as your
Thank you,
name
sir.
goes. So,
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So,
thank you for
Bala,
the.
I have a quick interject here. So, how to
Yeah,
pronounce it right? Aragan. So, the ra is more
all right.
like the way the Americans pronounce car. So, car.
Right,
So that's
car.
Aragan.
Yeah,
So, it's a very
Aragan.
unique letter that you will find only in Tamil
Yeah,
language and it's not there in any other language. So,
absolutely.
Yes.
No,
they,
I
it
agree with you.
takes some
No,
practice
that's
to
the
get it
beauty.
right. It's an amazing, beautiful
Yeah,
name.
yeah. No. I'm not taking anything away. I was just making Radhe comfortable.
Yes.
So, hey, thanks, team, for this wonderful presentation. I think you've gone into the depth of this idea, and it's a clever name, Farm Droid. I really like that. I like the I think you've understood the problem very well, and
Yes.
you have a good, fair enough handle on most of the aspects of this idea itself. Okay, so and I one thing I wanted to suggest was you have a powerful story, your own personal story, which is that you have seen you've been part. I mean,
Personally,
you've
yeah.
seen your dad's agricultural company, so you've seen part
Actually,
of
we
that.
both are from an agricultural background.
So yeah, I would start off with that because it gives a lot of credibility to your presentation.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't come across as a school kid or a college kid making the presentation, but a person who's seen this from a very early age and is very comfortable with that. That sort of gives a lot of credibility to your presentation. So that's one suggestion I definitely have, is that you should start off with that. It comes across as being very powerful, and that you really empathize with the state of the farmers, and you've seen it, and that's why you're making this presentation. We're on from word go. Okay. um, some nitty gritties that I just wanted to find out details about, not about nitpicking, is you've said 40 days since plantation and 30 days to go in your app. How
Yes.
does a farmer, do they have to enter it, or somehow your app knows because of the cycle?
They have to enter
Is it
crop and
they
variety,
have to
right? They would be
enter
planting.
the
Yeah.
whole thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the deal with hobbies there? That's also I found it to be curious.
Again,
What's with that?
white collar farmers start with hobby gardening.
Okay. So I completely agree with Radhe's suggestion that I think your target segment should be urban farmers. I know you're saying, oh, I want everyone to be there.
Yes.
My firm belief is that when you design for everyone, you design for no one. So if you
True. Yeah.
specifically have a target segment and you focus on the needs of that, the app comes out to be so much more better, and you understand their point of view so well,
Yes.
and this will really kick in the urban farmer segment. I know a lot of people who are thinking about farming, like you rightly said, or who are already taken that bold steps. Mahindra has associated few of them.
Yes.
So I would strongly suggest that you tight laser focus on this urban farming segment. And because then they make the produce and they don't know what to do with the produce, you come in and said, I have a market access, you sell it to me, I give you maximum. So
Yes.
that can be there. And then your later actual vision of eliminating middlemen, lack of education, all that can come in later. I think a business you may want to rethink about the whole idea of how we are going to go about this. That's
Yes.
my only suggestion. Otherwise, all the elements are in place. I don't see why this can't be successful. It's very nice. All the thinking, everything is great, and I like
Yes.
the fact that it's the friends who didn't go along with you.
Sorry, sir.
You said you ditched the friends who didn't, come to your
Yeah, we just
presentation.
Cooperate.
did that.
You
Yeah,
just
yeah, we
ditched
did
them. Great, good show.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Thanks a lot for that.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Let me go. Just a couple of points of observation. First, great work, great presentation.
Thank you, sir.
It's something that is close to the heart of a lot of people, especially with you talk about food production and what is the capability and the world population going up. This is something very close to a lot of people's heart. And
Yes.
it for me, it boils down to why wouldn't people look at farming as a equivalent profession? And why would people not do farming and look at something else? A couple of factors come to my mind. It might not be exhaustive, but some things that I can think of is one is, as you rightly pointed out, the margins with huge
Yes.
middlemen and the boards in place and so on and so forth. The second thing is there is fluctuation in terms of a fixed revenue coming in that allows them to comfortably support with variations in weather, in water, in policies that come in, minimum price for crops. All of these kind of tend to give a dynamic fluidity regarding the revenue that comes in, which people tend to shy away from. And that brings it to the third part because they are not sure of the knowledge or education behind farming. So these broadly, I think, would be the parameters that you might want to touch. And you've already talked about a couple of them. Two of them already you've talked about in your system. So as
Yes.
Bala said, you got the parameters right. It's just a matter of getting the focus on who is going to be your end user. For example, if I'm going to provide consultation, data, education to the farmers or to the people, uh, telling them the right soil, crop, and everything, that is fine. So there, your end user is already a farmer. So he's
Yes.
already decided to get into farming. So the aspirational part is is not there. But if you look at an urban person who's thinking about it but is refusing to wet their feet, so for them, understanding what farming means is not just about the techniques but also about how to make it equivalent to their corporate job that they might have been having so far in terms of the comfort, in terms of the pride, as well as in terms of stability. So these are things that will pop in, which typically in a country like India, these are the things that actually segregate out why we look at farming a little different from other vocations. So to break that aspirational barrier, we need to make or breach this gap, bring them closer together. And if your target is going to be the IT folks, then you need to bring them along to say that this is what it does. Your map as a marketplace is a fantastic thing because yes, you're eliminating the middleman, but
Yes.
because you also have to survive, you also become a middleman, though with lower margins.
Yes,
At
sir.
the end of the day, you'll take a transactional price, I'm assuming, for your product to keep moving forward.
Yes, sir.
So that middleman concept exists. It's just a question of ensuring that the farmer gets the
Farmer gets
biggest
a good
bang
price.
for their buck in terms of the returns. So that
Yes.
I'm in with it. So these are some of the points that I thought I noticed, which I wanted to share with you. Hopefully, these could help you also fine tune the way you're moving forward.
So then I have a doubt actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said the farming would be fluidic. The prices would be varying.
Hmm.
But if we look at it like that, any business would have its prices fluidic now. No business will give you the security of a job, but no job is a business. So it's kind of fashion.
Correct. You're absolutely right. Every job has its risks and fluidity. But that's what I'm saying. It's perspective. It's people's perspective. I'm talking to
Yes,
you as one of
yes,
the person in the corporate world that there is a certain thing that I associate with my corporate job, which is job security. In terms of its forces of nature will not shift me from my job security. It is more
yes,
of other aspects that come into play. Whereas
yes,
in farming, these have a direct impact, which is how I would look at it as a person who has no clue about farming, but is more on the industry side. You need to break this barrier of lack of knowledge for people to take farming as an aspirational vocation. That would be my first target point, I would say.
Yes, sir. Hello. I think the audio broke up.
So I'm done. I'm done, Naragan.
Okay, sure, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, any other comments from the jury?
Yeah. So one is the technology as such, the knowledge and all those things. That's fine. Other is a kind of a psychological barrier that it's not so fashionable to be a farmer. So how to make it farming sexy enough, attractive enough to really encourage the young people to take up farming and be proud about telling somebody that I am a farmer. Okay. So how to change that perspective is also something that we need to think of, come up with the creative approaches to that. And for example, if you get a chance to go to Israel anytime and see their farms, what they call as kibbutz, the farmer need not really step out anytime. He sits in a nice air-conditioned room. We have all those big computer screens, and sitting there, he'll be able to monitor what is happening in each and every part of the farm. It's fully automated, and it's like working in a software job, and it's just like you are surrounded by big computer screens, and you are sitting there and nicely looking at things and then controlling everything, and you are getting pretty good yields, and productivity is very nice for these farmers. So that's one extreme sense where they have automated it to such a high level,
Everything. Yes.
and everything it looks like you're more of a computer engineer than a farmer because you're able to sit indoor and then control the whole thing. That is one approach towards it. The other approach is where the farmer does it in the traditional way, but still we are changing the whole approach around it so that wherever it's very labor intensive, he is able to use technology and automation to make it easier. At the same time, we are also able to provide enough jobs for people because in India we have people, and as long as water is available, power is available, people will be ready to work on the farms, and it's also a source of income for many of them. So we have to think of the right mix of automation and technology versus um, people, using the people to do that. And there is also a lot of traditional knowledge and wisdom that's available among the Indian farmers in terms of selection of crops for various weather conditions and things like that. So there are a lot of very traditional practices that also we should not let go. So we have to factor in a variety of things. And also, you know that in India, the farmers have very small land holdings, and it's not the large area farms that we see in other parts of the globe. So we need to come up with very unique solutions to really understand and address the problems of the farmers when it comes to the Indian scenario. So I think there is a lot of opportunity for us to continue working on ideas like this and also go around, talk to farmers, use your design thinking principles, fundas there to see what is the value that the
Yes.
farmer sees in a solution like this and use their feedback to improve your app in an iterative manner. There is a lot that can be done. So I don't want you to stop any work on this idea after this weekend. We want you to continue doing that. And at different stages, when you need different kinds of support, please feel free to get back to us. We'll be more than happy to connect you with the right experts who can help you. Sure. So please continue this effort. This is a great idea, and it's a very critical problem that you are addressing. So we would love to support you. Please do continue the effort.
Sure, sir. Will do.